All right, so yes, here we go. Dragon's Dogma 2. We've got some brand new updates about this one. Also, yes, some really cool things have changed for the game. And there are some hidden features that players have discovered. And let me tell you what, this is kind of a preview of what we can expect from this game in 6 months to a year. This is very, very cool stuff. And we've also got to talk about 85% of the player base have not yet discovered this. One of the biggest features for the game was a mistake for Capcom to actually hide this away. And yeah, there's also some features that are still missing from the game that we need to talk about. But you know what? Check this out right here. So guys, you may have heard of Raid Shadow Legends, the game that many people think is just another cash grab mobile game. Well, this couldn't be further from the truth. Raid Shadow Legends actually has a ton of depth and strategy to its gameplay with over 800 heroes, you heard right, tons of modes including PvE, PvP multiplayer, CVC, and clan bosses, and so much more. And yes, Raid is truly a free-to-play game, and there's actually a lot of PC players now playing it too, with full cross-platform support, so it goes far beyond just being a mobile game now. So check out Raid Shadow Legends by using my link in the description below or scanning my QR code on the screen to get 2 super strong epic heroes. And a huge thanks goes to Raid for sponsoring this video. And right now, new players can win a gaming console plus $10,000 total value of Amazon gift cards in the new Spring Hunt event. To participate in the Spring Hunt event, first download the game using my link in the description below, then go to springhunt.plarium.com, enter your Raid ID, and start playing. You'll need to find hidden items in Mistwood to participate in the event. And don't forget to check out the Community Week's events, which have multiple in-game activities for all players and a 14-day loyalty program that gives players a free legendary. In this case, the legendary champion chronicler Adeline will be given to all players. She's amazing at placing valuable debuffs while bypassing the block debuffs buff and can heal and restore destroyed max HP as well. Perfect for taking on the Sand Devil. To get Adeline, just log in for 7 days between April 11th and July 8th. So join me right now and use my link in the description below or scan my QR code to get 2 free epic champions, including the champion Tyrell. And when you reach level 25, you'll receive the epic champion Rector Draft, plus a lot of other good stuff. And the cherry on the top, use the promo code SPRINGHUNT24 to get 10 XP brew, 100 energy, and 100,000 silver. Once you're in the game, come find me under the name Open World Games and join my clan Open World Games, and we'll be legends together. And again, use that link in the description below or use my QR code right now on the screen to receive these awesome rewards. See you in Raid. So I say we start out with the most immediate news. Yes, there was a big update for Dragon's Dogma 2. Check it out right here. It is out now, live on all platforms. It includes adjustments to, of course, Dragon's Plague, basically nerfing it, and then you can also see that their eyes glow a lot more. So you know, hey, you have a problem with your pawn. Also, pawn behavior and fixes to various issues. But yes, there are some other notable things that have improved here for Dragon's Dogma 2, including fixing some issues and implementing adjustments related to the mini-map. So treasure chests that have already been acquired won't be displayed on the mini-map, which is nice to get rid of that sort of headache and confusion. Then also adjustments to pawn's behavior and dialogue. This is actually pretty big. It says, fixing issue where occasionally the player couldn't high-five pawns. That's probably one of the biggest complaints. Finally adjusted, fixing issues where pawns wouldn't start guiding after offering to guide, and then making pawns less likely to fall off cliffs, reducing the frequency of some pawns' dialogue lines, and then improving pawn lines to better match circumstances, fixing some issues where pawns stop speaking outside of combat, and then fixing some issues where the main pawn speaks support pawns' dialogue, and making pawns more likely to aid the Arisen if the Arisen commands them to help with being held by an enemy, and then also reducing the frequency of pawns offering to be hired by player while in the field. That last one, that was so annoying, so it's good to know that that has been improved, and you won't have to worry about being like paranoid if this guy's going to stop you or not. You just want to continue your adventure, you don't want to be bothered. But yeah, once again, things are missing from this update. Probably the most significant thing being, of course, performance optimization. And yeah, players are still waiting from Capcom to hear about this. But at the same time, there were some things that players also discovered that have been hidden away within the files in Dragon's Dogma 2 that kind of point towards, hey, it looks like they might be doing some very exciting stuff for this game in terms of the graphics. Check it out right here. It says this: Dragon's Dogma 2 mod adds path tracing and other ray tracing options, including performance boost. You can see the before and after, but you're probably wondering, wait a second, Robbie, that's a mod. But yeah, Digital Foundry actually unlocked this feature. So check it out right here. We're going to go over to their video. I'm not going to highlight the whole video. If you want to watch it for yourself, check it out in the description below. But this is the future right here. If they can get the optimization down for this game, and it also really looks impressive for the character models, as you can see right here. They also have some really great before and after shots. Look at the difference. Can you imagine them adding this in an official capacity, in an official way? I think it'll be very, very big for the game. Hopefully, this can happen in the next 6 months to a year. I'm not going to state that that's going to be the case. But yeah, this Digital Foundry video is extremely impressive. They also go on to highlight the differences between the interior shots. As you can see right here, the lighting engine is just so impressive with path tracing on. But yeah, clearly this game has one of the strongest lighting engines, and it seems like the future of this game is that, yes, it's only going to get better in regards to its graphics, which is saying something. But I know a lot of you are still wondering, hey, Robbie, will we ever get new content? Is that going to be happening? Well, I have news that bodes very well for this yet again. Check it out right here. It says the following: Dragon's Dogma 2 has done so well, Capcom is paying out more money to shareholders. Let me tell you what, you never hear about this hardly in the gaming industry. And it goes to show that, yes, the game is still performing very well. It's word of mouth. It's not even advertising. It seems like people are picking up on this game much in the way the Souls franchise thrived on word of mouth advertising. So that's really, really cool to see. And there's a lot of hidden secrets in this game that players are still discovering. So I think that also helps it, is a sense of discoverability in the game as well. But this is very, very cool that they have been able to be this successful. And it's interesting because they did say that they considered, of course, Dragon's Dogma 1 to be a success at like 1 million copies sold within, I think it was like the first month. Yeah, it says this right here: to put Dragon's Dogma 2 sales into context, it took the first Dragon's Dogma game a month to sell 1.5 million units after it went on sale at the end of May 2012, a tally Capcom declared a success at the time. And you got to remember that currently Dragon's Dogma franchise sales have now exceeded 10 million units. And we knew about that, I believe, weeks ago. So we might have another update on how this one is performing. So yeah, more Dragon's Dogma. It seems like this franchise is going very, very strong. Now, mentioning hidden features and discoverability, there is this right here. I'm curious about your opinion. It says 85% of gamers haven't seen the best of Dragon's Dogma 2. I'm not going to reveal exactly what they're talking about here because I still don't want to spoil stuff. I don't know if you guys have gotten to what is called the true end game of this one, but there are significant features hidden away more near the ending of the game. That's why, at the beginning of the game, they call it like Dragon's Dogma. You see the actual title pop up and they don't have a 2 on there. Well, the ending clarifies why that actually is. So this is very cool. Do you think the game would have been more successful if they would have put this sort of feature at the front end of the game, or are you happy with such a big feature being more at the tail end of the game? I'm kind of curious about your opinion on that one as well. Now, there are some tips that the official Dragon's Dogma 2 social media did post. Some of you may not know this info, so I wanted to go over it. Now, a lot of it is generic, but there is something really cool in here, actually, that I think some of you may find interesting. It says the circular decoration in the pause menu is a clock. A full cycle represents 24 in-game hours, and the position of the sun will give you an approximate idea of the time of day. So you got to look at the sun. That's the key thing. 6 hours will pass when you doze off on a bench, of course. Saving at your house is functionally the same as saving at an inn. So if you're wondering, that is now confirmed. Now, the scar mark in the quest list indicates your main pawn. The 1 and 2 indicate your support pawns. You can summon your main pawn even from Forgotten Riftstones. And if there is no masquerade one day, there will always be a masquerade the next day. And Golden Trove beetles can gradually increase the weight either the Arisen or main pawn could carry. I think pretty much everyone knows about that one. Now, some people at first didn't realize that you actually have to use that item. They just thought you just stick it in your inventory and you're good to go. Now you got to use it. And then all heal elixirs are valuable items as they fully recover your loss gauge, among other perimeters. Yeah, so I saved those, by the way, for those big boss battles. I'm just not going to waste those and use them all up on like random encounters. All right, so here we go. As always, it is time to go over your top comments. So let's do this. Let's see what you guys had to say. Okay, then first and foremost, we have Dodge9981 who says, my favorite is when a pawn launches me into the air in combat without my consent, then absolutely refuses to launch me up to an edge when I'm exploring. I think that shouldn't just be contextual. I think you should be able to give more specific commands, or at least there needs to be a prompt on the ground that tells you, hey, you need to stand here, and then it opens up a new, dialogue option with your pawn saying, I need help up here. I think they need to open up those options a little bit more to be specific instead of so very contextual, because it does cause a little bit of weirdness and problems when exploring. I get what you're saying 100%. Now, we also have this one. The AI in pawns in this game is really good. In my opinion, for me, they hardly ever fall off the cliff. Well, you are very lucky, but now they're going to fall off the cliff even less. So that's good news. Then we have this one right here. Finally, the high five fell is a game-breaking bug, and I'm not being ironic. I need those high fives to keep on. There's something about it. There's something about the camaraderie behind it. And if you miss it, it's just such a bummer when you miss out on those high fives. So it's good to note that has been addressed. Now, also, we have this about DLC. So some comments there. It says this right here. For DLC, it's a must-have Bitter Black Island version 2. A new map, at least the same size as the one we have. New weapons, armors, and new vocations. A better upgrade version of gear, maybe with more depth. Like a way to add special effects like HP, stamina, stats, elemental defense, and attack. Before the DLC, I want to see harder modes like the mods in PC version with epic battle encounters, etc. Remove the stats caps, which makes no sense to have since we can level up all the way up to 999. And someone actually replied here saying the stat caps are there for a reason. Without them, the game would become entirely trivial. So what's the point of adding difficulties if the stat caps are removed and you end up becoming god tier anyway? And we have the reply from the original poster here who says this. What I mean is to make the game harder to a point that makes sense to remove the stats cap. Maybe add a hard mode with options of tier, like games that has hard all the way to nightmare or something like that. If so, why the hell put level cap 999? For me, it's just dumb following that logic of yours. The game could have level cap at 50, then because with the right build, level 50, you're OP. I play solo since I got Warfare Vocation and solo the game at level 30. So stats cap with level cap at 999 is just done for me at least. But if we get a difficulty, that makes sense to remove the stats cap and is not a bad idea. And yeah, I'm really surprised they don't have those type of difficulty settings in this game, knowing that they live in the age of the Souls franchise. Elden Ring add more meaningful difficulty settings. I think even with like a bigger free update, that would be really, really cool. All right, so yeah, there it is. The latest happenings around Dragon's Dogma 2. I promise you guys I would keep you guys up to date. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Take care.